Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are a Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon fan and want to join in on some honest reviews and character breakdowns, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on a new video. If you're into Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, this video is for you. Today, I'm giving you a full spoiler-free breakdown on Daenerys' life after Dosh Khaleen attack and how she met Jon Snow. If you are new to my channel and would like to know Daenerys' life, please watch my previous videos where I explain turning points of her life in more easier way for you to understand. Also, if you are new to the Game of Thrones fan base, I recommend you to watch my previous videos for a better idea and hope that you would find it interested. This video is connected to my previous video on how Daenerys overcome Dosh Khaleen attack and strengthen her title as a queen. And I also believe, since House of the Dragon Season 3 is soon to be aired, this video will be useful for you to get an idea on how the Targaryens ruled the world. In my previous 3 videos I explained that Daenerys declared herself as queen and becomes the Khaleesi to the Khal Drogo's clan. And also how she strengthened her army acquiring Unsullied from Astapor. And after that how Daenerys overcome Dosh Khaleen attack and strengthen her title as a queen. Let's explore Daenerys' journey more. After Daenerys burned down the temple and raised as the queen unburnt in front of Dosh Khaleen clan, she managed to strengthen her title as Khaleesi even more. Eventually, Daenerys and Tyrion discuss a plan to deal with the slaver fleet currently besieging the city. Daenerys declares her plans to return their cities to the dirt, but Tyrion pleads for diplomacy, begging her not to become like her father who was once infamous as Mad King. Daenerys and her entourage then meet with the slave masters Razdal Mo Eraz, Belicho Painimian, and Yezan Zo Kagas, representing Yunkai, Volantis, and Astapor respectively. The masters discuss their terms of surrender. The masters are bewildered by Daenerys' unwavering confidence until Drogon lands beside her. She mounts her dragon and the two take flight, while Rhaegal and Viserion break free from the catacombs of the Great Pyramid. All 3 dragons finally reunited. Daenerys then orders her dragons to burn the slave masters' ships, tilting the negotiating table in her favor. Later, Daenerys and Tyrion meet with the Ironborn Yara and Theon Greyjoy. Yara offers to provide 100 ships to Daenerys if, in return, she helps them defeat their uncle Euron Greyjoy and recognizes the independence of the Iron Islands. Daenerys accepts Yara's offer of an alliance and observes that both of their fathers left the world worse than they found it, but Daenerys and Yara are going to leave it better than they found it. Daario reports to Daenerys that the fleet is nearly ready. He's eager to see how the Dothraki do on the open sea. Daenerys informs Daario he won't be joining him, which Daario interprets to mean that he will go on to seize Casterly Rock to cut off the Lannister retreat. Daario begs her to take him, pointing out that kings have mistresses, and queens should be no different, but Daenerys stands firm. Daario realizes that Tyrion convinced her to leave him, but admits that it is a good move politically. He muses that no woman can take her place, although Daenerys is sure he will have many more lovers. Daenerys assures him that she'll leave specific instructions for him to follow in governing the newly renamed Bay of Dragons. Daenerys gives Tyrion a pin she had made for him, the brooch of the hand of the queen. Tyrion, struck with emotion, proceeds to kneel in front of her. Daenerys arrives on Dragonstone for the first time since she was born, accompanied by Tyrion, Missandei, Varys, and Grey Worm. She wastes no time exploring the home of her ancestors, removing one of Stannis Baratheon's old banners in the process. At the small council, Daenerys questioned Varys why he betrayed her father for Robert, to which he explains that he would have been executed if he had not done so and that he obeyed Robert's strength in contrast to Aerys' cruelty. Varys doesn't mention that Robert had rescinded his order that Daenerys be killed before he died. Varys then makes it clear that he is truly a representative of the common people, and that his loyalty to them ultimately outweighs his loyalty to any monarch, though he still believes Daenerys is the one most worth following. Daenerys is then visited by Melisandre, who is welcomed due to the number of Red priests who supported Daenerys in Meereen. Melisandre further states that Daenerys has a role to play in the prophecy, as does another, the king in the north, Jon Snow. Tyrion is surprised and questions Melisandre, confirming she is talking about the Jon Snow who is the illegitimate son of Eddard Stark, Ned Stark. Clearly intrigued by the sound of this man, Daenerys requests that Tyrion write a letter to Jon, after Tyrion tells her that Jon will prove himself a valuable ally in Daenerys's bid to claim the Iron Throne, particularly as the crimes committed by the Lannisters against his family give him enough reason to want Cersei overthrown, asking him to come to Dragonstone and bend the knee. Jon received the letter and decided to respond by attending Dragonstone on the invitation made by Daenerys. When Jon and Davos Seaworth arrive at Dragonstone, Daenerys sits in the keep's throne room, waiting for them. After their entrance, Missandei speaks Daenerys' name and announces her many titles, which stand in stark contrast to Davos simply announcing Jon as the king in the north. Initially, Daenerys assumes that he has come to bend the knee to her, as she is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, and declared how Jon's ancestor Torrhen Stark bent knee to the Targaryens and was named Warden of the North, reminding that the eras wherein their houses collaborated brought prosperity to the Seven Kingdoms. Jon, however, reminds her that any fealty House Stark owed House Targaryen ended when her father murdered his grandfather and uncle, though he accepts her apology on behalf of House Targaryen for the crimes committed against the Starks and he agrees she is not to blame for her father's sins, and states that his purpose is different. He has come to ask for her help in the coming fight against the Night King and his army of the dead, to which Daenerys would also need Jon's help in order to expunge the Night King's army. However, Jon insists that her kingdom will be nothing more than a graveyard should the Night King win. Davos starts stating Jon's own achievements during his time as Lord Commander of the Night's Watch up until the moment he was crowned king by the Northmen, all of which Jon has achieved not by virtue of inheritance, as he has none due to being an illegitimate son, but rather, by his deeds and the faith his fellow Northmen have in him whose respect Jon gained as a leader. Tyrion takes up and urges them to kneel before Daenerys and, the combined forces would defend the north. Jon refuses both because it may take longer to win the Iron Throne from Cersei and, by then, it may already be too late as at that point the Night King's army may have already bypassed the wall and marched further down south into the Seven Kingdoms. Jon also explains that he doesn't know Daenerys at this point, that her claim to the throne rests on her descent from a king his family helped overthrow and he was chosen by his people to lead, so he must lead him as well as he can. Daenerys concedes that this is fair but counters by saying that if he insists on that view, she will count him as a rebel against her rule. She ends when Varys whispers the events of the assault on the Targaryen fleet by telling Jon that he is not yet in her captivity, leading to Jon and Davos exiting the throne room. With that, here concludes Daenerys' journey until she met with Jon Snow, the illegitimate son of Eddard Stark. I hope this simple video explanation meets with your expectation. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about Daenerys' discussion with Jon Snow? Impressed on her ruling skills and way of showcasing the expressions? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next chapter of Daenerys' life. See you all Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon fans in my next video on how Daenerys' life grew after met Jon Snow. Thank you for watching.